It is time.
Shark's in order. Our shark.
There's a Sharknado coming.
Dragon sharks?
Are those sharks with laser beams attached to their heads?
Welcome to the
Sharks.
Whoa, what's going on, Rob? We just getting back from the Oscars or something?
Who?
You.
No. No, I'm not just getting back from the Oscars. Why do I look good? I look like
yeah. You got the bear bag coming back from like on the red carpet out there.
I wish. No. I just want to say welcome to the Real Sharks podcast, the American-made international podcast here on our new home of Spotify. So thank you. And of course, here comes those shout-outs. I got It's the World, Baby. I got Maya. I got Meg. I got Alex. I got Chris. I got Oreo Brewer. I got Christopher Zisi. I got Taylor Robinson. I got Dugans. And I got my man out there on the Jacked Up Movie Review, and he's going to hate it, but I love to call him it anyway. I got Cammy. Yeah, he's going to be breaking everything in his house now, everybody. So, welcome to the show. New and improved show. It's going to be quite an interesting ride here at the Real Sharks podcast from now on. It's moments like these, I like to go personal with you, my listeners, when I truly say thank you. And as I have once famously mostly said, I would sacrifice the crew for you. And I still stand by that now. And speaking of the crew, they're here with me. I got my beautiful co-host and kin, Donna here. I guess she's being quiet here on that one.
Hi. I blew kisses, but I forgot we're doing just audio.
Yeah. And then I got my co-host, I like to call him my brother from the other mother, but, we can just call him Stephen K here. So we got an interesting show today, my audience. We wanted to talk about some updates that we've been going on here at the Real Sharks show, and I want to do a personal response to Disney and some of their executives on a article I read regarding Disney. So make sure you stay tuned, everybody, for a great show. All right, so how is everyone doing? Did anyone catch the Oscars, by the way?
No, I was watching How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah, that's pretty much the Oscars right there. So you were watching
Yeah.
the Oscars, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, so you did watch the Oscars.
Yeah, so you're talking about how to murder. You watch how to murder cinema is what you're saying. I get it. I get code word in between the lines there, ladies and gentlemen. That is
Pick one film and then that's it.
Yep.
You have everything to one film and one actor.
And it's funny, everyone's talking about, Jamie Lee Curtis winning her Oscar, and everyone's like so amazed and so incredible. Me personally, I was like, holy shit, it took that long. I mean, you can just tell that's how much they snub people. They snubbed Jamie Lee Curtis all those years.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we got to start giving it to people we just didn't care about.
And
what I mean? It felt like that.
And that kind of brings me to one of my first subjects I want to talk about, Steve, which, as your host, my audience, I tend to talk to you, the people. Right, that was Banish. What do you think, Steve? I think that was a little Banish. That was
people.
To the people. I want to give back to you, the people. But anyway, I was discussing something with a certain gentleman that I was having a conversation with these movies. And we were talking about Dwayne Johnson. And I was like, Dwayne Johnson's an awesome guy. I was like, but, he's done some movies that have been, could be considered stinkers, but people love him. And, I was like The Rundown is a good movie. And he was like, yeah, but The Rundown was a failed movie. It was a fun movie. Now, it basically was a blockbuster failure. Basically didn't make any money. However, though, I wanted to kind of get into this subject here real quick. And while I have the attention of my great listeners out there, especially you, on Spotify. That's right. We're going to start acknowledging you more, our Spotify audience, because we know that you are the bread and butter of this podcast. You are the meat that runs us inside and out. Well, mostly me, Steve.
You are the meat in between the sandwich of Rob.
Yes. And then being sandwiched in between me and Steve and Donna
And Donna.
and I don't know where they begin and I end. I don't know. It's
Right.
a
With the
mystery.
human centipede.
It's a human centipede thing. Excuse me, I have to take a drink. But I wanted to sit here and talk about for a second. What exactly does describe a blockbuster success? It is not always the money a film makes, my audience. It really isn't. And some of you may say, what? Because you guys talk about how much a movie makes all the time. We do. But that's only in the context and the perspective of the film itself, whether it's a success or not. Because sometimes a movie can be a success on a cultural perspective, or even like sometimes we say a cultish perspective. Sometimes a movie can win, like Die Hard, for example. Die Hard, in hindsight, as awesome of a movie it was, when it first came out, was not looked on very well. It was looked on like a stupid action film. Action films don't win Oscars. Action films don't win awards. But now you see every action film that has to do with somebody trying to get to the top of a building, and that's Die Hard. That's a hindsight award right there for something.
Yeah.
You have movies like we've seen, and I'm gonna just dive it back to Atrium. And for those of you who have never seen our episode in Atrium, it is supposedly a haunted film, my audience. A film that was supposedly made in the 70s, that it said if you watch it, you will have bad luck, almost like a Ring situation. Now, me and Steve did have one hell of a bad week, but that is besides the point. We do not think it was because of this movie.
So I'm not watching that one.
You are gonna. That's a requirement.
No. I just got a new vehicle. I'm not watching that.
Oh, you're gonna watch it while driving the vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It's got a built-in DVD player. I can play it for the girls.
You don't want to play that movie for the girls.
Well, right now I have
unless your girl
great.
watch a movie about digging up their dog from hell.
Yeah.
Listen, my kid wants to be Pennywise for Halloween. I'm pretty sure she's got this.
I know, kids and their sensibility. They say kids now, we're being too PC with kids, but then you got kids that want to be Pennywise for Halloween. I think that's fucking incredible. I think that's beautiful. That's the American dream.
Right. Well, they know it's fake. I tell them it's makeup and makeup artists, and they do all these special effects, and so we'll sit down and we'll watch behind the scenes on how they do the makeup. And so my 8-year-old wants to be a professional makeup artist, and I was like, go for it.
That's great.
Inspire the kids. It's a movie. It's not real.
Flip side, but I want to talk about the flip side real quick. So my son, of course, my audience, you probably think, I bet host Rob's son is a real cynic. He is. And I do show him some films sometimes when he's of age to show. But there have been times where I've shown him a movie and he has, and I quote, have said, I know that's fake. And I know that's fake gore, but that's still scary.
It's got to be The Thing.
Yeah, that was one of the movies that he was like, I know that's fake. I know, but that's terrifying.
That's terrifying, yeah. If a movie can scare you as an adult still, kind of.
Yeah, there are movies that scare me as an adult still. It's called Kazam. But...
That's great.
Shaq.
I am Kazam.
Anyway, but I just wanted to kind of get that out there. That just because a film doesn't always do good financially, doesn't mean it can't be a success in other aspects of society and in society and culture, basically. So I think sometimes people need to understand, and the movie's not always portrayed by the money it makes.
But you also said something about it being about the cultist type of thing, right? And there's so much buzz that it just, no matter how much money it made, it's gonna get the award.
It's gonna have those diehard fans, like
Pops, Shakespeare in Love.
Shakespeare in Love. Oh wow, they were just talking about that film not too long ago. I was actually gonna say like Donnie Darko, because unless you see the director's cut, you have no idea what's really going on in that film, and like people are gaga over that movie sometimes. Yeah. You're talking about a guy who likes Clockwork Orange. I mean, people love.
I think people like that one a little more, to be honest with you.
People love them. People are all about the Donnie and the
people love that one.
So,
which is pretty, just it is what it is.
We're actually going to go ahead and sorry to cut Steve off here, but the music is starting to play, and we are actually going to take our first commercial break, because what new things have come with the show are in fact bills, and we have to pay them. So you're gonna have to listen. Thank you, and we'll be right back. Attention all Phoenix and Scottsdale residents. Are you thinking about moving? Are you thinking about investing in real estate to generate a passive income? Then it's time to talk to a real estate professional. My buddy Dugan Grant with Keller Williams at 480-506-7890. That's 480-506-7890.
Refund us our money. She said, hey, by the way, I left my husband, I left state, and I'm taking your money. So we have to find a photographer in less than 2 months. Our DJ quit. I can't get hold of the other brides or the bridesmaids to figure out when to do the bachelorette party. I was like, I give up. Let's just go get our nails done and eat McDonald's. And that's what we did.
Sounds amazing. I mean, if Steve did that for a bachelor party for me, that would be pretty cool. I'd be like, okay. I mean, men are easily pleased. I mean, all you would have to honestly do is probably put a stripper at the McDonald's for me, and I'd be set. I'd be like, yeah, we're going to this is a
that was her one rule for me. I couldn't hire strippers.
Cheeseburger bra, Steve. She got the quarter pounder.
Dress as a hamburglar.
She's gonna have a double cheeseburger, Steve, and I'm gonna be, hey, I wanted a quarter pounder on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Seductively licking a fry in front of you and stuff.
Sorry, we're back on our audience. We're back on, everybody. Sorry. Welcome back to the Real Sharks podcast. That's right, you're listening to Rob. And if you just came in, sorry, we were having an off-air conversation that you do not need to know about. So, anybody got those cheeseburgers, by the way? Let's make sure we get those in here. Okay.
Like the longest yard.
Why?
Sorry, you said anyone got those cheeseburgers, and that's what came to mind.
I don't need a.
Now that's all that's in my mind.
The delivery man coming in here and like removing cheeseburger from the folds of his fat. I mean, that is not appetizing. Just saying it. I mean, God, that is a picture even to describe to you, my audience. Could you have had a hamburger warmed up and these a man's
the yeast infections?
or even, I don't know, Steve. Would it even be a turn on if it was a woman's boob flat?
Yes, I believe that is somewhere that's somebody's fetish to have that happen.
I guarantee it. And if the male version of it doesn't exist, I'm gonna start it.
And I will drop spoilers. It's me.
Well, damn you, Steve. Damn you, and let me tell you, and damn all these people at Disney, because I have a little bit of a tirade to go on. And it is actually kind of I'm hoping to channel you, my audience, and all my Star Wars fans out there, and all my Star Wars listeners, and everyone who loves Star Wars. Get behind me right now, and we can collectively share our anger right now. So Disney won't release the original Star Wars. That's right. They just did a article, and I'm actually going to respond directly to this article. It was by Lewis Glasbrook, published 6 days ago on Screen Rant. And they talked about Jon Favreau, and he offered up some details on why it is unlikely for Disney to release the theatrical version of the original Star Wars trilogy. And I quote, "Some younger fans may not know the difference. However, he also states that George Lucas, updated it in 1997, and people should respect George Lucas's adaptations. Not to mention, he talks about the Hayden Christensen scene, where Hayden Christensen was put into the original trilogy, and for many people, he says, that doesn't matter. It is what it is now because that's all anybody remembers. This is one of my big. And I'm just going to be honest here, and I'm going to, excuse me, my honest with my French. I'm just going to be pretty fucking honest here. That's such an insult to us fans and critics, because I remember. Let me tell you what I remember. I remember when Greedo didn't shoot first, and Han Solo was an actual badass and an actual smuggler. I remember not all the campy ass dialogue in the films and things that just kind of came across as unnecessary and didn't make sense. More importantly, I remember one of the most beautiful, iconic scenes when Mark Hamill, aka Luke Skywalker, is being zapped by the Emperor, and he says, "Father, please help me," and he glares over at Darth Vader, and without word, anything being said, you see the lightning in Darth Vader's mask, and you know he's thinking something about his son. And without words, he goes and picks up the Emperor and throws him down that Death Star chasm of doom. And that, my audience, was one of the greatest, best scenes I remember as a kid that got me into Star Wars. Except now, when I go back years later to a Blu-ray edition, what do I get? I get "Please help me." Looks at his father and he goes, "No, no," and he picks up the Emperor and throws it. Why? Because it's a stupid fucking callback to Revenge of the Sith. When, and I will give it credit where credit's due, good movie until he comes out of the freaking cryo tube and's like, "No." Yeah. Is that what you were doing? Is that what you had to plagiarize? And I'll just say you had to plagiarize with Star Wars like that.
Star Wars plagiarizing Star Wars.
Steve, don't laugh, because it's true. And respect George Lucas. George, I have defended you countless times when I have told people you are a slave to this franchise. Your American Graffiti was brilliant. THX was awesome. But the fact is, you do not get to sit here and update your work and tell everyone to go F themselves. I mean, you're basically saying my other ride is your mom when you do that.
Oh my goodness.
That is basically what George Lucas is saying. My other Jabba is your mom. Yeah, I'm gonna keep adding to it. I'm gonna have to make that a bumper sticker. My other Hut is your mom. But that's what I'm getting at, and I'm joking, but I'm also real serious here, because it really, I think, is an insult to fans worldwide that you try to tell people, you know what? Here's the middle finger. You're never gonna get your childhood movie back, because you know why? No one remembers it, but I remember it, and I know there's thousands of us out there that remember it. And I have to say, this is where Disney will fail, ultimately. And I will say this right now to Disney execs and the Disney head of the board: this will be a troll for you guys forever if you do not do this, because you will put out, and I'm telling you now, my audience, and go ahead and go do it, because you can say the Real Sharks podcast told me to do this, because hell, it was going to happen anyway. Every time they put out a new Star Wars movie now, all you need to do is tweet them, where's the original trilogy? Every new episode of Mandalorian, every new episode of Boba Fett, anything they put out from now on, just troll them and say, where's the original trilogy?
Right. They'll either get tired of hearing us, or they'll just stop making stuff.
And for those of you who think the original trilogy has been released, it hasn't. It does exist on VHS, but only on VHS.
Only on VHS, and then even then, what can you actually do? They've done it to the point where it almost doesn't exist in the modern public. And it's the crazy thing about it, Rob, is they're actually still tampering with the original trilogy on their platform Disney Plus. So it's right. There's no way to really systematically bring it back other than just like completely negating the new stuff that they've had added into the scenes. I mean, when you're thinking about the original trilogy, I bought the VHS like silver screen, the silver box sets that came out when George Lucas like first started messing with it, adding a mouth to the Sarlacc pit and everything. So just like, well, I guess this is just the way it's just going to be, because this was his original vision that he was like, I wanted to do this, but I just didn't.
This is like if Da Vinci came out of a time warp, fucking pushed everyone on the way and put a mustache on the Mona Lisa and was like, this is what I wanted. Yeah, this is what I wanted to do.
This
is what I wanted to do.
Like, but you ruined it though. But you can't say anything because he's the creator, right?
No, I'll say it right now. George, you do not get to own what is public domain now. It is not yours.
George Lucas versus the people.
That's a real documentary. And, again, we've talked about this before, and I've defended George Lucas, but I will not defend George Lucas, nor will I defend Walt Disney, like he's still around, nor will I defend Disney on this subject. So you don't have anything to say?
No, I haven't. I don't think I've even seen the original Star Wars. So
see, that's a fucking travesty, and anyone on this podcast should be shocked.
But
we're gonna. So there's gonna be a poll on the show right now. The poll's gonna be: should we get down on Shark Collar until she, watches Star Wars, so I can zap her every time we come on?
I'm pretty sure there's
like,
a distance. There's
I
a distance if you live.
Zap.
Hey, I actually liked that movie, so shut up.
A few good scenes is what I call it, but continue.
But no, and I actually think I have a VHS collection. I actually think I may own the original.
I would be impressed, and you'd have a lot of money on your hands.
Yeah, you have a lot of. I mean, because it's just so. It's one of those things, Rob, where it's like, yeah, they probably know, hey, you have the original, but how hard is it going to be to find a working VHS, make it work on your television, going back to watch those original tapes, the original trilogy, because they'll always be there. I have it, but then you're going to be like, well, the prequels exist. And then the sequels also exist. And they just totally, it's like they don't even align with the trilogy that they've tampered with right now and they keep tampering with. Going back and watching the original, like how it was when I, like in the theaters, like when they re-released them in theaters that one time, Rob, and it was like the last time that it was the original one that you could see it. Then they just completely are like, we're killing it after this, so get your watches in now.
They just prove that time travel is you can't go backwards in time. They just prove that, which sucks. Which means I can't go tell my younger self to bootleg those movies in the theaters.
Right.
But my younger self would have to hold one of those gigantic
camcorders.
Those are the ones I think were like on your shoulder with the tape that kind of on the side. Could you imagine people that bootleg tapes back then like that? If you did that back in the day, I give you credit, because people hide that stuff under hats and stuff now. It's like, how the hell do you hide that?
How you hide that from blanket over it? Just like,
I'm cold.
My baby's sleeping.
It's cold, Miss Dita. All right, we're gonna actually take another break, and we'll be right back. And welcome back, all our Real Sharks, to the Real Sharks podcast. That show bringing you everything, all that good stuff, all that good sound, 20,000 leagues under the sea. That is right. It is actually just me and Steve right now on the sub talking to you about the movies. And I know what everyone's waiting for, and I thought I might as well bring it up now. Our contest and how you can win you can pick one of 2 free movie posters, and shipping is included. The first one we have for you is going to be Django Unchained. I know it's kind of hard to see our audience, but it's there. It's Django. You can find this on our Twitter. And the other one we have actually is Army of Darkness. Let me see if I can adjust that a little bit more here, my audience, for you. Let's see if that is any better. No, it is not. So I apologize.
I can barely see it.
But you can find these all on our...
Yeah, definitely. Go to the links.
Twitter.
You can look at them yourself in full detail.
So how do you get it? I'm sure everyone's wondering. How do you get these 2 free posters? Okay, or pick which one you want. All you got to do is go on any of our fabulous platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Facebook or TikTok or Spotify, any place that you can leave a review for the Real Sharks podcast and send us the proof. We will send you these posters free of charge. That's right, free of charge. So, and you get to pick. So, first prize gets to pick out of the 2. Second prize, so the second best review, gets to pick whatever's left out of that and a t-shirt. And the third gets a free t-shirt, a Real Sharks t-shirt. So, that is the contest, ladies and gentlemen. So, just drop a review on any of our fabulous podcasting platforms, and we will send you a free movie poster.
Yeah. I mean, check out the links. If you guys like the shirt, especially something like this, we got shirts just like this at the store. Just go ahead and click those links, especially those posters. Those posters are pretty cool.
That they are, Steve, that they are. And you're going to get them free of charge, ladies and gentlemen, free of charge. And for those of you who don't win and just want to get something cool, make sure you check out Jagged Tooth Clothing at WordPress.com or on eBay to help support the show and check out our merchandise. We have a lot of movie-based shirts, cartoon-based shirts, video game-based shirts. A lot of them are really cool. So make sure you guys check that out. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that is called bills, and we have to get those out of the way. So, hate to tell you all that. So, okay, now back to our fabulous, fabulous, fabulous program here. Steve, I just saw The Mandalorian.
Oh, you did, huh?
I got to sit down, and I got to actually sit there and digest it finally for all its glory and what it is.
How many episodes you see?
I seen basically 2 right now. I saw
Same.
2.
I only saw the 2. Because the third one just came out. I haven't got a chance around, but I saw the first 2.
So, would you like to go first? What do you think about it?
It's not going to be a popular opinion, I think, on both of them. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling it, man. It was a little, I mean, a lot of people are kind of talking about that. I saw it right before I watched it, and I just was like, maybe it's the little, like, I don't know, getting over season 2 and what happened right after season 2. And then we had all the shows in the world. We had the Star Wars Andor that I didn't get to finish. And what else? Boba Fett that had some,
which was a
Obi-Wan
fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah. Then you had like Mandalorian was in some of the Boba Fett. So you have some like weird things happening. So when it's just him now focusing with the baby, it kind of felt like a Saturday morning cartoon a little bit to me. It was a little weird. It was a little weird. I was like, okay, like this is great. I guess he needs to, go. I need to go to the Mandalorian cave, planet, whatever, Mandalore, to go bathe in the waters, and that's it. And it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't
bathe
feel
in
like
the lake of Minnetonka.
Yeah, he should have went there. He should have.
It's basically one of those Mandalorians just pop off his head and it's Prince.
It's Prince.
Then just so in the lake of Minnetonka.
The revolution of the other Mandalorians.
Right, the other Mandalorians of the fucking oh my god. If Prince was still around, that would have been his music video today. That's exactly how it would have went. I'm sure of it.
You think so? It's just a pinked out, purpled out Mandalorian.
Just a purpled out Mandalorian pops it off. Maybe you should bathe in the lake of Minnetonka, and then all of a sudden, boom, Mandalorian bam would just bust out, and just boom, boom, boom.
I think what the hell's going on?
I had this Mandalorian.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, bro. That's just my take on it. I guess it's just I wasn't really feeling it. Tons of action though. I will say the cinematography in it, badass. Like it's A1. It's basically a movie. The story is just taking a little bit to ramp up. I don't know, man. What did you think about it? The first 2 episodes thus far, only 2. It's not, we're still getting into the series.
My turn, right?
Yeah, your turn.
My turn, Shannon. My turn. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to, kind of quote you there, Steve, my man. You said it's like Saturday morning cartoon. Well, you know what you got in store with Saturday morning cartoons, and that's exactly what it is, man.
Yeah.
I am fully on board with The Mandalorian season 3. I think Disney I think it's great. I think it's fantastic because at this point, if you are running up in here and saying, I do not like it because I don't like The Mandalorian, then you're watching the wrong show. This is season 3.
Yeah.
You know what there is.
Yeah.
You know the cheesiness. I mean, God, they had me tearing up at that droid dying, and then they bring it back here, and I'm like, oh, God, they're going to have that again. But it was like, okay, I'm down. And what's going to happen, of course, and I haven't even gone past the second episode, my audience, so, you can spoil it if you want down below. We spoil the show. We spoil it for all you. Spoil it for us if you need to. Anyway, I'm only on the episode 2, but so far I've been like, okay, I can tell where this is going. Okay, so this is part of the quest. He's gonna go here, then he's gonna need this. He's gonna need this to get to this, and then we're gonna come right back to where we began again. And
Right.
I also see the love interest going between him and the other Mandalorian chick going on here. I think there's gonna be a possible love interest that this is gonna tie into with Disney trying to like bring that a little closer there
You
because they
think
couldn't.
so?
Oh, because they couldn't do it with that one chick because she's an anti-Semite, because
She's not even on the show anymore. They kind of
right.
this like, and that was like one of the first things they said. They had Carl Weathers basically like, oh, she's gone. She's off planet actually.
And she was a bad person too.
Yeah, she's a yeah.
She was a bad lady. But that's that's how I feel, though. I mean, I feel like we're already there. This is already what you're getting into.
Already established.
It's already established. Like I'm not sitting there, going, oh crap, hold on. Excuse me, my audience, I have to readjust my camera. I'm not sitting there going, oh, this is not, anything like the Mandalorian should be or anything. It is, man. It's perfectly, it's just as I thought it would go. What else?
Yeah,
what else can you say about it?
I guess you're right on that. I mean, I don't know. I think the only thing that scares me is them saying like they have no end in sight and no real plan for Mandalorian. They're like, oh, are they going to end it soon? What's your plans? They're like, we don't have anything actually for it. We're just going.
Just gonna go with.
We're just gonna go until they squeeze
just
it.
Gonna go
squeeze
with
that
the flow.
mask.
Gonna just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming.
Poor Star Wars, bro. Poor Star Wars. They just cannot let it go away forever. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
let it die peacefully. Why do you have to like keep resurrecting it?
Right.
Get people's hopes up.
So I want to talk about something that happened the other night on Twitter, on a personal tweet of mine.
Twat verse.
On the tweet twat verse of mine. I got into it with a little buddy of mine, and I don't know why he follows me, but it was an interesting exchange I had with a gentleman, and I'm not going to give him too much leeway or credit here on this podcast, but I'm just going to say this, bro, you got smacked. You got 6,000 followers, man. You got smacked. Get that reactionary crap out of here, man. So our debate was, he was talking about how obesity, how Dove basically said it was wrong, and this is getting into the Oscars, about how what the Oscars did was wrong because they gave Brendan Fraser the award, and they were like, that was messed up, but they should have had a obese person play the role. And I actually commented on his statement. I said, oh, I have this conversation a lot, and I'm going to have it again for you, my audience. There's nothing wrong with using a disabled actor from the disabled community. However, you will not bring as much attention to your cause when you use a mainstream actor. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Our co-host Luke thinks exactly the opposite of me. He thinks it's insane that you would even try to make a movie now like that. But for me, I'm just saying, hey, if a good actor can pull it off, he can pull it off. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that if you can relate more to that, because we can't relate to some of those people. We can't put ourselves in their shoes.
Right. Yep, you're right, man. But Rob, I gotta say, he's an actor though. It's Brendan Fraser's, he's not in charge.
Right, he's not in charge, but
he's just picking the role.
But here's what he said though. And this is what I was explaining to this man. Is he came on to me and then he said, and I said, but I don't think that's but he said that's so woke. And that's where we got into it. And I was like,
oh, the forbidden words, sir.
The forbidden words to talk to me about is wokeness in movies. So yes, because if you listen to any of my content, ladies and gentlemen, I do not believe that movies are woke because they have always been woke.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and talk about what was said exactly. So, I made the comment, movies have always been woke. It's social progress because it is honestly a fact at this point that movies are a reflection of society and movies progress. So, I stated that. I said, and, he said, and I quote, and no, movies haven't always been woke, just like comedy hasn't always been woke. My reply to him was, Yes, they have. I'm sure you think movies today just demonize the rich, when in fact over 20 years ago it was the opposite. Movies have always lifted up the rich as good people, but today you might say no. So that was one of the things I said to him. Then he came back at me and he was like, huh? Wokeness isn't social progress. Hollywood lefties imposing their narrative on others isn't social progress. Progress is organic. Hollywood is anything but organic. It is also why box office is down. Nobody wants to see their social progress derivative. So then I said this. This is where, bitch, you got smacked. Is where I said, I'm sure you think every movie is some leftist slight to some social problem or political whatever. Your type of movie criticism is reactionary and not really a critique of a film. It's more like how the movie made you feel. Sorry. And it's funny because the next tweet he goes on to say, Mike, is that obesity is not beautiful. Obesity is disgusting. That sounds a lot like your fifis, bro. Yeah. Sounds a lot like your fifis. So, I hate to tell you this. You can follow me all you want. I think you's a bitch.
I just think that why are you using your own feelings to get the whole thing about a narrative? This is all right. You know what's interesting, Rob?
But hold on. Before you go on, this is what I had for you, Mike. This is what I had for your ass, and I was waiting for you to chime back on me, because this is my last smite to you. People like, if movies weren't about social progress, as you put it, we would still, because of people like you, we would still have blackface in films if that was the case. So don't tell me films aren't about social progress, because films obviously do reflect social progress. I'm sure people like you back then were sitting there saying, oh, getting rid of blackface, that's so woke. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you were saying.
I mean, it's still a thing. There are still films that portray that. So where are you when that happens? And there's a difference. It's like, you can't have it both ways. You can't go, this movie, like, here's the deal. Would this guy be talking this way if Brendan Fraser didn't win that Oscar?
Right.
If Brendan Fraser didn't win anything and that movie didn't win anything, would he have cared? Would he still have that comment? He wouldn't.
No.
He just has an issue.
And I love to make this comment about people like you, Mike, is, you think Disney cares about people like you, what you say? No. I actually think Disney nowadays puts a black mermaid out there because they love to see you squirm about it. Because you know why? They know who their audience is, and it ain't you. It ain't you, brother. It ain't you, because you're sitting there on the sidelines screaming about how a mermaid can't be black.
You're screaming at the sun, dude, when you're doing stuff like that. And it's like, I've said this before, when it was the Amazon's Lord of the Rings thing, with the whole fiasco there with the Black Elves and the Black Dwarves and all this other stuff, miscasting. They did that for publicity. They weren't really looking to make a change. Like Disney with this Black Mermaid. They don't really care about change. They care about what kind of stir can we get. Because any publicity is good publicity.
Any publicity
even though it's
publicity.
And it's going to get
you, Mike, you suck.
Yeah,
you have 6,000 followers. Yeah. All your 6,000 followers should be my followers because you got smacked.
It's just, oh God, this is the funniest thing of all time when people use selective rage for films.
Right.
And it's always, like, this guy, you know what you're doing? You're doing the reactionary thing. It's like, see you next Oscars when
I gifted Seth Meyers. Haters, they're going to hate.
They're going to hate. Yeah, bro. Rob, since we're on the topic, of the Oscars, remember a known film that won in the year 2000 by the name of Gladiator?
I don't remember that film.
And it's like, remember that little nugget of a film?
I don't. What is that about, Steve? What was that about?
It's like, what is that? Gladiator? Let me think.
Ridley who?
I know.
Ridley who?
Right.
I'm gonna tag you, Ridley. Ridley who?
It's the same thing, Rob. It's this selective, like, people start getting ready to ramp up whatever arguments that they have for when a movie wins, right? There are films, obviously, that the best films, best picture should not win, right? There's been plenty of them that have happened.
Right.
That's not even like, I don't even want to hear debates from people. That's just a fact.
That's just a fact.
We
like to call the hindsight award here on Real Sharks. Right. Some movies should get the hindsight award, like Die Hard, And back then, back then, action films can't be award-winning movies.
Right? Because they weren't considered real genre movies. They were
considered
just popcorn flicks.
They were just popcorn flicks.
And until what, Marvel came around? I bet you this guy's a huge Marvel fan, right? If Endgame got an Oscar, would you be up there going like, yes, thank God for that?
He'd be up there, Mike, and I can call you out right now. You'd be up there saying, you know what? That you'd be saying a couple things. You'd either say, A, it was a slight against Donald Trump. That this was somehow Thanos was like Trump, and you would try to make this argument that Thanos was a good guy. You like Thanos was trying to bring order. I guarantee it. Thanos was the good guy. Or you'd make some stupid argument that there was too many women in the film and diversity, so it didn't need anything. Like if you just put the white people in the movie, it would be just fine. Dude, you're a dork, honestly. You know what you're doing. And your 6,000 followers, I feel bad for them that they actually fall for that shit, because you do that to everything. You apply that little reactionary formula to everything. And I hate to say it, I will tell any critic out there right now, you best come at me, you best come correct and actually have critique for a film, because I'll call you out on your feelings. Because let me tell you what, I have no qualms about critiquing a movie, and I don't have to use my feelings at all. My fifis don't get in the way. Let me, and I want to explain, and I really do want to explain this for my audience. I want to explain this in a sense of how I have even gotten upset over a film that I thought was, to me at the time, I was like, oh, that's fucking insensitive. But you'd misjudge things when you don't really look into them. So, for example, when I first heard about Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi's film, I said, I cannot believe this. He is going to make a Hitler-friendly film in this era when Nazism and racism is so rampant, and especially hatred of Jews. But when you actually watch that movie, you actually see he's trying to prove a point against racism and how dumb it is and the whole white supremacy. I literally wrote an article about it, about how I thought Taika Waititi was placating to the right. But you know what? It was my false outrage. And that's exactly what you try to teach your audience is false outrage. Be mad at that because it's somehow a slight to dude, it's just a movie. It just means you can't drop your political hat when you enter the door. Grow up.
Yeah. Rob, it's so interesting. It's like movies are for entertainment. We're all gonna have our opinions. He has his, but the thing is, this goes beyond. Yeah, it's like you're going beyond your opinion. When you specifically go to things of like, oh, it's completely it's racist. This film's racist because X, Y, Z, or oh, he shouldn't have done that. Why didn't he have a real obesity person? It's like when you make that role, then it's like, okay, then every other role that's ever happened with a disabled person, with a person of color, or real locations, then it just becomes a thing. It's like, did they just phase in and out of New York and it's in a green screen? Why didn't they go to really New York? You know what I mean?
Right.
It sucks. You know what I mean?
Pulling your hair out on that kind of notation.
Right. But it's like, you can't just, this is the thing. It's so stupid to make those types of like arguments. You destroy yourself when you do that. And just if you don't like the film, don't watch it. That's all.
Don't watch
it.
That's always been the Real Shark motto. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Don't watch it. It's not for you.
If it hurts your fifi so much, Mike, don't watch it. If it literally keeps you that much awake at night to where you're sitting there having a tweet fit at me and you can't even back up what you say, I think, bro, you might have some issues, man. And hey, but thank you for the follow, man. I mean, I appreciate you being a fan, dude. And hey, hi, Mike. You might be listening, so hey. And I'm a little concerned on this one here. And I don't know. I don't effing no, Steve. And I'm flailing my arms about, one, because I'm a little inebriated, and two, because I'm literally upset because I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know what the hell where they're going with this. So, as you know, Lady Gaga is playing Harley Quinn.
Yes.
I have nothing against you, Miss Gaga, Lady Gaga. I love your music. But this idea of you're changing Harley Quinn is interesting to me. Not that I will not accept it, not that I will not embrace it and go see it, but I'm going to be judging very harshly. What's going on with this musical element to the Joker 2, Steve? I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned, man, because I feel like, Steve, we watched I feel like we watched a Game 7 World Series, and the guy just hit the ball right out of the fucking right out of the park, man. And then all of a sudden, he comes up to bat again to win the game, and then all of a sudden he just fucking is struck out like twice.
Yeah.
And we're on the third one, and
like looking, not even like swinging the bats, like what?
Like not even the same person anymore.
Like,
you know what I mean?
What?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Raw. I had to really okay, was this just for the trailer? Hopefully, is this in the movie? Like, is that a thing that's in the movie?
And Harley Quinn does sing to the Joker, and I am for more. I'm for a possible lounge scene, Steve. Maybe like something like that. But I've heard there's going to be multiple musical numbers in this film, and I'm like, what is going on, man? Like,
why are they doing that?
I don't know, and I don't want us to be like those old men yelling into the clouds, because actually, no, I can't even say that, because as a podcast and as movie critics, we have always accepted the Joker movies. Whereas they've been like when Heath Ledger was named as the Joker, I was like, that's a good idea. When Joaquin Phoenix was named as the Joker, I said that's one hell of a good idea, because he's going to be a great Joker. But I have never, especially from Todd Phillips, man, because he's like the Marvel dude.
Yep.
This better not be like a Vince Russo thing for WWE, man. This guy better not be in here to destroy DC from within. If you're trying to pull a Vince Russo, bro, I think we're gonna have to crucify you here, because being a DC fan right now is like being a 90s Detroit Lions fan. We are sitting here with the bags on our head, hoping something is gonna bring us to the glory golden days. And for a split moment, that was the Joker, because the Joker, as everyone knows, DC didn't even want to attach itself to it originally. And then when it did so good, they're like, oh, that's our film.
Then they're like, oh, no, wait a minute. Actually, we have the Killing Joke is sort of dark like this. It's just so stupid, dude. I don't like
I don't know
about this. And Todd Phillips, I have been against him even when this film did well. Do you guys, let me recap for people that don't know, man. Todd Phillips is the dude who did the Hangover movies. Remember when Hangover 1 was good and everybody was like, dang, that was a really good film? You guys remember Hangover 2? Wasn't so great.
I mean,
Hangover 3?
I know it's all right.
Yeah, right. Oh, really? Hangover 3, you like that one too? This is not good, bro. When you just told me right there kind of just sunk my ship. If it's going to be like Grease with the Joker in it and Harley Quinn.
Oh man,
I don't want to.
Joker Lightning.
Oh god.
Oh, Joker Lightning.
Oh god.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It scares me. It scares me. It stings in a way, because I'm sitting here, and for the new reviews for Shazam look fantastic. Let me tell you,
No, actually, it's mixed. People have also said that Shazam is another one of these films that is suffering from just being a lackluster superhero film, like no real anything.
No. See, I haven't seen it, so I can't really speak of that, my audience. But the music is starting to play, my audience, so that is going to be the end of this episode of the Real Sharks podcast. It has been a pleasure. I am your host, Rob, with his co-host Steve, saying we will catch you on the flip side from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Please make sure you listen, like, and subscribe to us wherever podcast platforms are found, especially here on our home of Spotify. And make sure you support us and check out our store at Jaggedtooth Clothing on eBay.com. And have a fabulous night, everyone.